first opened way back in 1957. We are inside legendary Lambeau Field here in Green Bay. Today, it's the opener of the 2017 NFL season between the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. Here's Blair Walsh now about ready to get us started. And off we go from Lambeau. This one taken from the 7. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. He finds Randall Cobb on the completion. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
Sometimes, occasionally, Randall Cobb somewhat gets taken for granted about his abilities with Green Bay, doesn't he?
Well, the numbers last year, solid but not amazing. Just over 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. But he complements everybody else, doesn't he?
He really does, and his versatility is so big for them because he can actually run back to the backfield and be a running back as well as a slot receiver and someone who moves outside.
Now Rodgers throwing on 2nd down. And this one complete to Martellus Bennett. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
They go play action here on 1st down. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. Bobby Wagner leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6. On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. Trying to hit the tight end Bennett, but it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowl cornerback, Richard Sherman. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. And the defense could not have written a much better script than that first drive, pick 6.
The offense never got a chance to really get oiled up there, did they? But the defense, they certainly got in gear. What a big-time play and a great way for them to start.
And now the offense, they've got to turn things around and figure this out because your backs are on the ground real quickly.
Yeah, usually when you're starting the game getting the ball, 0-0 is the only score you're worried about. Now the second time you get it, you're already down a touchdown.
Blair Walsh on to attempt the extra point. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Packers make, and again for them, feels like they're the team to beat in the NFC North. They've won that division 6 years, and Aaron Rodgers just feel like he has at least another left in the tank maybe, right?
I would say so, and I think there's probably some frustration that he hasn't gotten back Super Bowl after winning that one against Pittsburgh, because one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, prime of his career, you don't want to waste that opportunity. And it came close last year going to the NFC Championship game. They want to take the next step. They have it all there in front of them. They know that they tend to rule that division. Now can they make that one last big jump in the NFC and get back to a Super Bowl?
And over the middle to the tight end, Bennett. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Have you gotten used to seeing Martellus Bennett in number 80? I mean, he's been number 88 his entire career, right?
And how about that? The fans selecting his jersey number.
Yeah, that was his idea.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Sheldon Richardson able to drop him for a loss of 12, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Looking for Baldwin, intercepted. Picked off by Blake Martinez. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. Rodgers now on 1st down. He completes it to Jordy Nelson. Look at the dance and the juke. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 41 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that and have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory. Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
That's 2 really good stops in a row. Back-to-back tackles for losses. I mean, let's face it, they are locked into what they're doing offensively. And now they've earned the right to rush the passer on 3rd down, haven't they?
Yeah, and offensively they have to do something else because the run game, at least on this drive, pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still... And the first play will be a field goal try. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. On the NFL scoreboard, an update from Los Angeles. It's the Colts in that one that have grabbed the early lead. Andrew Luck, an early touchdown pass in that one.
Partner, I think they saw something there. I mean, they came from the right side deliberately, and you know there's always a designated guy that goes and blocks it, but it's the rest of his teammates that get him free.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And now Matthews couldn't really tell what happened there defensively, but he's still down. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. The play fake to Lacy. Now this is Wilson. Out to the right here to Wilson. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. A very solid gain of 27.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there that sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. From the red zone now, here's Wilson on 1st down. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. It's Nick Perry with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Reminder that later tonight we'll see the Giants and Cowboys battle in Dallas. Seems like they're always playing in week 1. And then on Monday night, a doubleheader. Adrian Peterson, his first game with the Saints. He's already back in Minnesota to play the Vikings. And then a 10-20 start on the East Coast. It's the first game for the LA Chargers traveling to Denver.
A nice AFC West matchup.
And a big tackle there as the defender runs right through him at the 6-yard line. The Packers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Sheldon Richardson able to get in there and drop him behind the line.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now it's Lockett. Nifty footwork at the 45. Good blocking there. Nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. Interesting stat line right now. Technically, he's completed 4 passes, 2 to his team and then 2 to the wrong team.
It makes you wonder what he's seeing downfield because he has completed 2 passes to his own team, but the interceptions are troubling. Is he going through the wrong reads, the wrong progressions? Is he getting fooled by defenses? They've got to figure that out over on the sidelines, working on that Surface Pro to see what they see.
So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
Lacey. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. He'll get 6 on the ground there, and it'll be 2nd and goal coming up. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Eddie Lacy, his first touchdown in a Seahawk uniform. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. For Lacy, his first touchdown as a Seahawk after scoring 29 of them in the regular season in 4 years in Green Bay.
And I'll bet he's very comfortable in Seattle already, and here's why. Remember when he left Green Bay, everyone was talking about his weight and how much he was carrying. I know the administration in Seattle said, we want a big back. That's what we use in our offense. As long as he's comfortable, they'll just keep feeding him the football.
And feeding him the milkshakes. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Aaron Rodgers, we focus on him for our players spotlight. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. A reminder coming up at this and every halftime this season, we'll be checking in with Larry Ridley in Orlando for highlights and analysis of our first half.
LR, that's my man.
That's your guy. And the Seahawk defense gets to him and they bring him down. Cliff Averill in there to sack him for a loss of 6. On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Cliff Averill in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Returnable for Lockett. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. And time for us to spotlight Doug Baldwin. 2nd quarter, a guy like him, no catches, so that's the surprising part. But they're winning, so maybe they've been able to do some other things effectively, I guess.
And they found other ways, haven't they? Because the receivers will tell you, offense needs to run through us, but they're managing to get it done in this ball game without having to actually do that. I wouldn't expect them to stay silent for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you got to think that his first catch is coming at some point.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Jimmy Graham, a 24-yard touchdown. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. You got to figure if they want to have success this year, the more they can put the football in his hands, the better, coming off a Pro Bowl campaign.
And that Pro Bowl campaign does more than just get him notoriety. It also plants an idea in the minds of guys trying to defend him that he's really pretty good, and sometimes gives you a little bit of extra room, a little bit of extra deference, and he's taking advantage of it.
Extra point try now for Walsh. And it is now 21-0. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend, as we'll send you down to Orlando as we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports halftime report. Larry?
All right, Brandon, back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get you caught up on all the highlights from the first half. The Packers haven't played their best football and trail because of it. The Seahawks have looked good on the road and will just try to keep the ball rolling in the second half. So here we go. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Packers have it midway through one. Under pressure here, the pass is picked off. Seahawks will end up returning it for a touchdown as they get out to a 7-0 lead. 1st and 10. Here the defense will come up with the pick. Harry's the one who makes the pick to give a boost to his defense. Seahawks take it at the 1. Lacey's going to cruise off the right side, and a quick 3-play drive ends with a score. Seahawks up now by 14. Now 1st and 10. It's Russell Wilson connecting with his tight end, Jimmy Graham. And he's going to go 24 yards for the score. The Seahawks up now by 21.
All right, Larry, indeed a one-sided affair to this point as we get set for half 2. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30, right about the 29. Around the NFL, 2nd quarter in Santa Clara. And it's the Panthers there out to the early advantage. Cam Newton with 2 first-half touchdown passes. Wilson now off the bootleg. Flushed out right. Oh, look at that. And again the work. And all the way down to the 29. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down. We know he's got the arm, but wheels.
Kind of harkens back to guys they used to call the scrambler and the dodger. This guy can make it work with his legs.
Field opened up. He took advantage. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. He hits Baldwin right side. And he carries this one all the way to 9. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They're really locked in on offense.
Now Wilson. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Jimmy Graham already is in. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. And they'll get set here looking for the 2-point conversion. Off the bootleg, Wilson. And that one's going to be over everybody in the back of the end zone. It's incomplete.
I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, I mean, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot.
No.
Okay.
They'll try to get something going with Ty Montgomery. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Here's Rodgers to throw. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Mike Bennett in there with pressure yet again, and that's the 7th time they've dropped him here this afternoon.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
On now is the Packers punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Taken in at the 11. Oh, he slipped right by him. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Off the fake to Lacy, here's Wilson. Forced out to his left. Fancy footwork in midfield. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Russell Wilson with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And this Seahawks offense continues to pour it on. Well, you want to talk about making something out of nothing. Boy, he did that right there. What an incredible run.
Obviously a pass play, and he couldn't find anyone open downfield. But sometimes the receivers just run those defenders off, and it creates a wide open space.
Walsh now for the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 8.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
On 3rd down, they go Montgomery. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Elsewhere around the NFL, 3rd quarter now in Los Angeles. Now you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Todd Gurley, over 100 yards on the ground. He's at 104 to this point. Here's Wilson. Flush to his right. Oh, able to avoid him. And he's got room. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
Now, this play was all about the eyes. As he rolled out to his right, he kept one eye downfield and one eye on what was in front of him, and he ended up picking up some pretty good yardage.
And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. On 1st down, Wilson. Catch made right side by Wilson. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A very solid gain of 27.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys. But you and I both know that's easier said than done when the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there. They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. On 2nd down, Wilson. And an alley to run. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. The rushing numbers for Wilson may be down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the 1st down.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a first down.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down at will.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. They come out with one back and three tight ends. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Amon Brooks leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted. Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that.
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, start the bus, because they think this one is over.
Now the free kick comes after the safety from the 20 as they bring the punter on to try and get some hang time here.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Automatic first down.
To throw is Wilson. Off the bootleg. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. Escaping the pressure. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Clay Matthews able to run him down for a loss of a yard. On 2nd down, here's Wilson. And he's going to go down again. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively. But instead it just brings up 4th down.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their 3rd of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they missed a golden opportunity.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the 4th. But they didn't get it.
Guaranteed, it's not going to be a fun handshake in the postgame, right? You just know that there's going to be some bad blood there. And I know if we go to the postgame press conferences, the winning coach, you know what he's going to say, why he did it? We need the points, okay? Because you never know at the end of the year if points are going to come into the tiebreaker if we're trying to get into the playoffs. That's always the standard justification.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Here's Rodgers, and he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here. It's been that kind of a day so far throwing the football. It just seems like nothing going right offensively.
Yeah, it's a catch that should have been made, pure and simple. And look, everything else that goes into running a good pass route, throw it all out if you don't catch the ball.
It's been that kind of game throwing the football so far, nothing going right offensively. And that will be incomplete as well.
Whenever they're trying to attack a zone defense, you're trying to figure out where your gaps are going to be. And depending on what type of zone they're playing, it could be on the outside, it could be in the middle, it could be in the seams, in the edges. In this case, they tried to attack the middle of the field, but this zone defense didn't allow it because they were able to see the ball come off the quarterback's hands, and everyone was able to react to the football and knock it away.
The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And that one is incomplete. He just dropped it. But they're up big on the scoreboard, so maybe he can chuckle about later.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, helped force the incompletion.
Well, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And he finds his tight end, Graham. And he's brought down after a good gain. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
Jimmy Graham had a really tough injury in 2015 that ended his season, but what a bounce back in 2016. How did he not get any votes for Comeback Player of the Year?
I was just going to ask you that. Not that Jordy Nelson wasn't deserving, but 65 catches, 923 yards. That was the highest total by a tight end in season. Now the defense loses him. It's complete. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Paul Richardson, 59 yards. And the Seahawks are running away with this one. Turning into a really good performance on the road. Week 1, you're just hoping for that first win. It's tough to do it away from home, though, but they're looking strong.
It certainly is. Any road win in the NFL is a great road win. I mean, it just does not matter whether it's supposed to be tough or not. In this particular situation, how great will they feel leaving with a win on the road against a tough opponent?
Little work still to do, though. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They are down big. They have not scored a single point. I don't know. Are they so defeated at this point you just want to get in the locker room and get the heck out of here?
That is one way to approach it. Sometimes coaches say, that's it, okay? It hasn't worked all game. There's no sense in doing something now. Let's get out of here. No one gets hurt. But others will look at it and say, we still have an opportunity to do something.
On the line.
Exactly. You have pride on the line, execution as you look forward and get ready for your next game, and a message to your team. We're not going to quit. No matter what the battle is, we're going to finish this thing out.
And they'll get him down here at about the 42. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week 1. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for the Seahawks, you can't ask for a better start as they pitch a shutout here in the opener. And they'll return home next week to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long, everyone, from Lambeau.